G'day fellas, how you going? Now, this is the next video in the series that I'm making about how to enter a cosplay competition and get the best result possible from it, okay? Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about how to pick a good cosplay partner. Because in a lot of competitions that you'll enter, they will require a partner because that's just how the skits work on stage. It's usually a lot more dynamic when there's two people involved, okay? Now, I've been through a lot of competitions and I've had several different partners and I've had good experiences and I've had bad experiences and I've learned quite a bit from it. And from that, I've learned that there are 5 key things that you need to look out for when picking your cosplay partner in order to ensure that you get the best possible experience that you can together, okay? So, how to pick a cosplay partner, that's what this video is about. Let's go. Okay, the first thing that you should consider is, number 1, are you good friends? Quite simply, do you get along with them? Because I found the best partners that you can possibly find in cosplay are people that you already get along with. You know, they're people in which you have a great back and forth conversation, you have the same kind of sense of humor, you've got a chemistry that just works between you, you know? It shouldn't be really someone that you've never talked to before, or, you know, you reach out randomly and you've never talked before and you want to do a competition together because you like their work. That's a viable option, but at that point in time, you're really taking a roll of the dice on if you work well together or not, okay? The best experiences that I have had in competition with partners are people who I know I'm already good friends with, or people I know that, yeah, we've got a good combination, we've got good chemistry between us, and we can work well together, okay? So that's number 1 thing you should be looking out for in a partner is, are we already good friends and do we get along well? Right, so the second thing that you should look out for when choosing your cosplay partner is, do you have a similar level of experience or skill? Now, when I say this, it's kind of asking yourself, you know, have we been doing cosplay for a similar length of time, or are our skill levels about the same? Because in that case, you'll be able to work with each other the most, okay? If you do choose somebody who, let's say, oh, they've got 10 to 15 years of experience and they've done all these competitions before and they've won all these things and they're going to be so good and so knowledgeable about everything. Yes, that's a great resource, that's a great thing to have in your corner. But the thing that will get in the way if you partner up with someone who is, quite a bit above you or quite a bit below you is the imbalance. Now, when I say imbalance, what does that mean? No, not just imbalance of, you know, who's better or who's not better. It's quite simply the experience level and your opinions that are going to go forward, okay? Someone who has a lot more experience quite easily will be able to say, oh, we should do it like this because I've done it before, or I've got experience in these fields, or this has worked for me in the past, and it's not going to be a very balanced kind of dynamic between the two people, okay? It will require a lot of negotiating, but typically with that experience comes a lot of suggestions and a lot of, really good points that could be made, but it won't really feel like a partnership. It won't really feel like working together or with the other person, okay? And that's really what you want. You want a partnership and a friendship much more than, you know, the objective of doing something for the purpose of winning or getting a good result. The experience is not going to be as fun. And the third thing that you should look out for in choosing a cosplay partner are your skill sets. Now, not just the level of skill, but the kind of things that you're able to bring to the table in a partnership. For example, maybe you're someone who's really good at sewing and you're really good at wigs. Ideally, you should be wanting a partner who's able to do things that you can't, because it means together you'll be able to create you'll have a much wider range of choices to choose from because you can both do different things very well. Maybe you can do sewing and wigs really well, maybe the other person can do armor and makeup really well, whatever it might be. Now, it's not saying that you should only choose someone who's got a skill set that, you know, complements yours. Maybe you could both be people who are really good at sewing and you're both really good at doing wigs. It just means that the projects that you'll aim to do is going to be really intensive with sewing and really intensive with wigs. And ideally, you should be choosing costumes that focus on those elements rather than things that you're not so experienced with for both of you, okay? So ideally, pick someone who has got a skill set which matches yours or complements yours very well, so you'll be able to pick costumes appropriately. The fourth thing that you should think about when choosing your cosplay partner, really important, is can they compromise, okay? Can they negotiate with you? The last thing that you do want in a partnership with somebody in cosplay is someone who is not willing to do so. They can be a bit stubborn. They might say things like, oh, I'm going to do it like this, and that's the only way forward, and I'm not willing to bend, I'm not willing to change, that's how it's going to be done, take it or leave it. Okay, it can be something which can be very stark, it can be something very confrontational, and it can be something very isolating, because I've definitely been in a partnership in which we've worked at two individual separate entities to put together a performance, but it really wasn't a very enjoyable experience. It wasn't a great result because it really was, two people working separately coming together to try and make something work, okay? So make sure that the person that you partner with is willing to discuss things. They're willing to negotiate. They're willing to compromise. They're willing to meet you in the middle, because that's what a partnership is all about. That's what it's supposed to be, okay? So choose someone who is willing to talk with you. And the fifth point of choosing a very good cosplay partner is that your goals for the competition should be the same. When I say this, it really means that when you go into the competition, you say, hey, look, I want to enter this competition. Did you want to enter with me? Make sure that you're on the same page of what you want to get out of the competition, okay? Maybe, like we said before about goals, it could be something as simple as we want to just do the best we can, or we want to win, or we want to go for the prize, whatever it is. Whatever your aim, make sure you're on the same page and you're upfront and you're honest about it, okay? The worst thing you can do is say, oh, yeah, I just want to do the best I can, but secretly I really want to win at all costs, okay? They're both, goals to have. They're both very separate goals. But if one of you has one goal and one of you has another goal, whatever the result is of the competition, it really is going to define whether the relationship between the two of you is going to make it through or if it's going to break, okay? Because you really need to make sure that you've got the same motivations, the same goals, because if not, whatever the result is, someone's going to be disappointed, someone's going to blame someone else, and that relationship probably won't last between the two of you, okay? So make sure that the goals that you have for the competition are the same. So there you have it. Those are the 5 things that you need to watch out for when picking your cosplay partner. Are they good friends? Do they have a similar skill level as me? Do they have a complementary skill set? Are they someone who can compromise? And finally, do we have the same goals? So by this stage, maybe you've decided, yeah, I really want to enter this cosplay competition. And yes, this is a great competition that I should enter. And I've found the best cosplay partner for this competition. I'm ready to go. The next thing that you're probably asking yourself is, well, what should we cosplay? This is something that can be a really difficult, grueling process. It might be something that's very easy, and it could be something in which it's very easy to get wrong. So what I've done is I've made a video on how to pick the perfect costume for your competition. I'm going to talk all about it in my next video, which you can find right here.